My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This was I put it on my wait list for my library on a whim and then had to return it. But it is a really nice, fluffy summer book. The plot is Taylor and her brother Jude are going away to a summer home on Cape Cod for a little vacation, and they find the homeowner completely dead in the laundry room. So his sister, the owner's sister, hires a bounty hunter actually to come and help her figure out what's going on, and that is Miles, who Taylor is completely obsessed with. So this book has a lot of those tropes that you kind of expect both from Tessa Bailey and from this genre of romance in general. It is fluffy, it is light. There's a grumpy sunshine, there's an alpha man and a teeny tiny girl. Y'all, like, can she be 5'7"? Why does she either have to be an Amazon or a pipsqueak? I don't understand. But anyway, things that I really thought made this story unique were that Taylor in her life is very, very closed off. She's very shy, she's very safe. And this moment, this finding of the dead body, inspires her because she realizes one of the worst things that could happen happened. She found a murdered man and she didn't crumble. It didn't destroy her. And so it really awakens this idea for Taylor of what else am I capable of that I haven't let myself explore, that I haven't let myself kind of move into because I've been too scared. Miles shows up and he's really the tool, not the catalyst. And that I think is unique. I don't want Taylor, I don't want any woman, really, any person to change for another human being. But if you're already on the road to change and you happen to meet a person, that's great. Other thing, Taylor, super light, fluffy, wants to ride on the dark side. And I do mean ride. I do literally mean ride. There is a lot of very dark, I want someone to take control of me sexual energy. And Miles is totally willing to do that, but they keep getting interrupted. I don't know why that always makes me giggle and laugh and builds me up for the next time as it builds them up too. So they get interrupted twice. So when they finally do get together, it feels like they've earned it. Um, I will also never look at a church the same way again. If you haven't read it, don't worry about it. If that phrase terrifies you, put this on the back burner. If that phrase excites you, you've probably read Sierra Simone and it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it is. There's a church scene. So, um, that's it. My Killer Vacation. Totally enjoyed it. If you're looking for that kind of white cis heterosexual rom-com, if you're looking for a lighter side fluffy rom-com, though, okay, I say lighter side, there is murder. It's a lighter murder rom-com. Okay, this is going to be on the shorter side because Hunt on Dark Waters is the book that I read because it is the first Jace Reads Romance podcast book club book. It's the first episode that we're doing about an entire book as opposed to a genre or an interview, something of that nature. Seeing how I do when you give me 60 minutes to talk about a book. Anyway, so this is going to be particularly short. I'm saving all my best quotes. I'm saving all my best feelings for the podcast episode. April 4th, next week, comes out next Thursday. And here's what I'm going to say is I was most excited about this book because it is, I I was led to believe that it is the book that kind of connects the worlds of Katee Robert. If you follow Katee Robert, her book series are connected. The Wicked Villains is connected to Dark Olympus, and the Court of the Vampire Queen is connected to this world and this realm. And if those words don't mean anything to you, read the book and then listen to the podcast episode next week. So I was looking forward to understanding how she is making her worlds more interconnected. I still don't feel like I have the answer. I'm not quite sure where everything lines up, but I'm excited to keep going because book 2 comes out, Blood in the Tide comes out in May. Cannot wait to see where that one goes. Big picture, vampires, pirates, magic. Need I say more? It is Oh, really lovely book. You can see my ratings right there. Surprisingly low spice rating for a Katie Robert novel. And I think I was looking for more of Court of the Vampire Queen than not Court of the Vampire Queen. If you know, you know. And I hope that you come with me when I talk about it next week. Twisted Lies. This is the final book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. Y'all, if I'm not saying her name correctly, please let me know. Even if I am saying it correctly, can someone put it in the comments just so that I don't get nervous every single time I read one of her books, because I'm going to keep reading her books. They're great. Besides my not love of Alex Volkov, who doesn't play a big role in this book, so I'm really happy about it. These books are long. If you were expecting a light 350 page romance novel, her writing is not that. These are chunky books. Anyway, this book is the final of that Twisted series, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to get into, because Stella, I felt like, is the member of this foursome, these four friends that the Twisted series is about, who we get to meet the least of. We see the least of her personality in the 3 books leading up to this, even though she's roommates with Jules in this 3rd book, and we meet her and Christian in the 3rd book, and Christian and her are kind of interwoven into Dante and Vivian from King of Wrath. So even though there are a lot of touch points for her, I don't feel like we've ever gotten to know her or really see her personality. She's mostly described as an introvert with social media, which is true. So it was nice to get to know her. This is a slow burn book. It is slow. And one of the things that I liked, but also wish we'd use different words for, was Stella and her reckoning with her attraction to Christian. She mentions that she has a very limited sex drive, and she's actually seen help for that. And I wish the words that were used were maybe, I was wondering if I was on the ace spectrum, or my therapist and I decided I was on the demi spectrum. I'm demisexual. It takes a while for me to feel safe or secure and then develop that sexual attraction to someone. And I even don't think that's necessarily the case, because she says she likes Christian so immediately, but I wish we'd explored more of that with that kind of language, because it is important to put out there that you're not always attracted to all people, and that's okay. Even if you're ace or on the demi spectrum, you can find people that you connect with and that you find love with and sexual satisfaction with. And she does. She does. A lot of she does. Also, Christian keeps mentioning his dark side. He's so dark, but everything until pretty late in the book is cyber dark. I'm going to ruin their software. I'm going to hack into their system. I'm going to put their deep dark secrets out on the web publicly. And that's dark. But then it gets real dark, like Alex Volkov dark. And I it felt surprising to me. I wanted that sooner, because by that point in the book, I really didn't believe him when he said he was dark. We said he was sketchy, and okay, great, that's fine. And so when it happened, it was more of a surprise. Even though he'd been saying it the whole time, I wish we'd seen a few more examples of it leading up to the moments when it got dark in this physical realm. Other than that, I feel like it it was very satisfying. It was a very satisfying conclusion for the Twisted series. We got to see what has happened to the couples along the way, who's in an HEA, who's pregnant, who's not pregnant, engaged, whatever. And if you've read the Kings of Sin series, do we get more of interweaving? Because I want more. I'm already probably going to see Christian in, well, I saw him in King of Wrath. I want to see more of them along the way. So, lovely conclusion, long book, got steamy, and very satisfying. Fracture Me, which is the 2.5 novella in Tahereh Mafi's series that starts with Shatter Me. I like them less and less as I'm reading them. I don't know why. It feels like we're getting deeper into the YA of it all the further I'm getting in these books. And if you have finished this series, please let me know. Do I want to keep going? I did just get, I think it's Ignite Me. Yeah, it's Ignite Me. I got that from the library a couple days ago. And so it's in the pile, it's in the pipeline, but I get less and less excited about them. Also, if you've read the book, spoiler, this is a big spoiler. Like, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead at the end of this novella. So, what happens in the rest of the books? There are quite a few more books. I, I don't know. It feels very Hunger Games ish to me in that it's YA in a post apocalyptic and a terrible, terrible regime. But I don't know where it's going, and I don't know if this is something that I'm going to enjoy moving forward. So I think I need y'all's opinion because I'm not putting I have Ignite Me. I probably have to read it because someone else is gonna want it. But I don't know if I want to put the next one on my wait list because I'm that not excited about it. Sorry. I blame you, Rara. This whole video, you can blame Rara. I am tagging Pink Kink Podcast in this post because this would never have been on my radar. I am already blushing. This book would never have been on my radar if I had not gotten the incredible opportunity to talk to Princess Rara. So I blame you for this. I also thank you for this. I read his favorite Hucow by Sinistre. And y'all, I do not regret it. I do not regret it. Number one, it's really well written. I highlighted almost nothing from this book. I think I was just in such a state of shock from this concept that when it came to my experience, I was so immersed in what is going on and what is about to happen next that I highlighted almost nothing, except right at the beginning, her little author note, welcome to the dark side, we have cookies. I appreciated the snack. Okay, if you are not familiar with the concept of Hucow, it's not any weirder than Omegaverse. As far as you get with Omegaverse, you're pretty much going to get that far with Hucow. So basically, it is sci-fi, not paranormal. We're in this world, specifically this world. There is a planet for this kink for cows, and they have developed a serum that make women lactate and have huge boobs. There's also a serum for dudes that make them very aggressive and have huge schlongs. It's like pet play if you're into kink, where these women pretend to be cows. They are treated like cows. The way that they get people, most of the people, to be a cow is they recruit from criminals. It can be part of a sentence. So instead of going to a labor camp, you can be a Hucow, a human cow. Margaret. She catches the eye of Leo, who is going through the prisoners to decide who's going to become a Hucow. And y'all, I don't think I can really explain what happens. I can't explain it. I think TikTok would remove me. I do not regret reading this book. I do believe I'm gonna go read the rest of this series. I want to know what the rest of these planets are about. And Princess Rara, I blame and I thank you. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is actually a sequel, and I didn't realize that until I read the book, but I honestly don't feel like I missed out not reading When in Rome first. So, my opinion, they can be standalones. They're pretty solid on their own. This book is about Annie and Will, a grumpy sunshine, girl next door, hardened bodyguard situation. And they also engage in a fakeish date. I do love a fake dating. Really, Will is supposed to be her dating tutor. She needs a tutor for dating because she's awkward at it. But the reason she's awkward at it is she's drowning. She's crushed under the expectations of her family and her town on who she has to be, and doesn't allow herself to be herself on any of these dates. So of course she's not going to make a genuine good connection. She's nervous as fuck and trying to be someone she's not. So when she breaks through that barrier with Will, because Who cares? I'm not really going to date you. I can just be my wild and crazy self. Yeah, you're going to make a genuine connection. Happens to be with Will. Congratulations. They're great for each other. But in general, I think the lesson isn't go for the hot bodyguard. I think it's be your genuine self. Now, Will, oh, Will, my king of consent, he does a really great job because, of course, the sexual tension builds and they decide to make out a little bit. And he establishes really early on in this fakish dating makeout situation that consent is important to him. I really appreciated that ownership and that forefront of I want to make sure that you know consent is key with me. I'm going to ask, I need you to answer. And he also backs it up. They're making out and he tries to go for second base and she says no and he went, okay, great. And it didn't ruin the moment. They still cuddled, they still connected. And that's really important to know that if you stop action, it's not the end of the world, y'all. There's still a lot of good that happens. When we get to the actual intimacy in this book, it is closed door. I don't mind a closed door, y'all. Closed door is fine. You don't want to write about it. You don't feel like you can do it justice. I don't care. It was odd to me that there was a little, whisper of, oh, what a wonderful night we were having. And here as we ate, or was just close the door. Just close the door and leave it closed. I don't need to know. Also, that Annie goes from I'm not ready for you to go to second base to I'm suddenly ready to lose my virginity to you felt unrealistic for me. Felt a little, oh, you needed to get from point A to point penetration real fast. And that's not necessary. I would have been totally fine if at the end of this book, they had still not had penetrative sex, if they just had a really lovely night of physical intimacy with each other. Really light, fluffy, sweet, no harm, no foul.